You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand.
Okay, welcome to the Village of Wapner Falls monthly regular meeting of the Mayor and the Board of Trustees. Today is Wednesday, August 14th. Can you please stand for the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mayor Huber, present.
Trustee Nicholas. Here. Trustee Kozak.
Here.
Trustee Marshall.
Present.
Trustee Martin. Present. Trustee Ruffin.
Here.
Trustee Smith.
Here.
Village Attorney Lindar.
Key convocation.
Absent. Action on minutes. Regular village board meeting minutes, July 10th. Special village board meeting minutes, July 31st.
Can we get a motion on the minutes?
I will make a motion to accept the village meeting minutes on 7/10 and 7/31/2024.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Trustee Smith.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Regular session. Authorization to pay bills as per approved warrants.
Can we get a motion?
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Approval for the mayor to sign the building inspector terms of agreement.
Can we get a motion?
Okay, where would that be, though? I mean, we didn't get this agenda till 4 o'clock today, so what
Right.
are we talking about?
You'll get the agenda when it's ready.
That's really the wrong answer.
That's the one we...
That's the answer.
That's not the right answer.
That's not the answer you want to hear.
Hang on.
Definitely.
I'm talking here. That's the one me, you, and Joe looked over and went through.
Okay.
We get a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second
All in favor?
it. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm going to abstain from this one.
Accept the resignation of P.O. Hensley, effective July 19th.
We get a motion?
I'll make the motion. So moved.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Who was it? Who seconded?
I'm going to abstain because I didn't get the meeting agenda until
Who
4.
made the second?
Walter. Mike abstains on the other one.
All right. He abstained on the building inspector?
Correct.
Wappinger Central School District request 75th Annual Festival of the Arts, Mizzier Park, for Saturday, May 17th, 2025.
We get a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mike abstains.
Who seconded that?
I did.
Bob.
On Monday, August 5th, William T. Gardner welcomed back Dale Kelly to active membership. Can we accept the correspondence?
I'll make the motion to accept.
Is there, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
Monthly status, police.
That's gonna be me. Okay, had a meeting with Commissioner Calabrese, Trustee Nichols, Trustee Ruffin was there. We discussed a few things that were going on. It was asked that the police put a ghost car, dummy car, whatever you wanna call it, up on West Main Street to slow the traffic down. That lasted a couple of days, until somebody put a sale sign on the car in the middle of the night. So they moved it out of there for now. Also, there was a expansion fuel leak from the oil tanks that had been overfilled at the police station, which I went there yesterday, and what was done is that the leak has stopped. I put down Speedy Dry, Spray 9, and John asked me to go to Bettini and have the deliveries stop there permanently because the boiler is shot. I peeled the side off the boiler is gone. So we're not going to be starting it back up. We're not going to be using fuel oil in the building, and John informed me that I asked Brian Bettini to give us a quote on how to resolve the issue, and what they said is that they would charge us $1,500 to pump the oil from the tanks and remove the tanks, which is actually a very good price considering what you have to go through to move fuel oil. So I'm all in favor of doing that. John's you're gonna bring that up again later, John?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
I will during the safety.
Okay,
Part.
so John will take care of that part of it, but I'm all in favor of having that done so that we don't have to deal with that anymore. But if anybody wants to see pictures of the boiler dead, I got them in my phone. Can't be salvaged. It's done, it's finished. Okay? As far as arrests go, there was no arrest made this last month. As far as tickets being issued, there was no tickets issued. So we're going to be working on that in the future. And that's the end of my police report.
Is there any way for us to reuse that hydraulic,
The only way we could reuse it is if we had a place to put it. I already talked to John Milkovic, and we have no place to put it. And if we were to put that 550 gallons into a tank, it'd have to be a skid tank, and it'd have to have containment, and that puts it completely out of our possibilities, because then it becomes much, much more expensive because of what the EPA says we have to do now. We have to contain fuel like that when it's above the ground, even below the ground. But the cost would just be way too much to reuse the fuel.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Finance, Trustee Nicholas.
Okay, the July vouchers, finished signing them, or got them, they came in at 2.23 million, last month was 1.7. And our July bond payment is going to be over $700,000 this month. We have looking at other ways to try to reduce expenditures and have those updates at the next meeting.
Great.
Finance, highway.
I'll be doing highway. Highway's been working very hard on all the local stuff. They're doing sidewalks in the 3rd Ward. They completed the repairs of the retaining wall in the parking lot. And I want to give a particular shout out to them because last Friday we had some pretty big storms blowing through the village. And the guys were out within a half an hour. They cleared South Mizzier of a downed tree. So I want to give them credit where that is due because that was an amazing job they did.
That was a big branch, too.
Yeah, that was half a tree.
I want to thank them for fixing the wall on Mill Street. They did an awesome job down there and saved us a lot of money. So they did a
Yeah.
real good job.
Fire,
I don't have much to report, but I will report that while Kevin was on vacation, I did step in and just field a request for an inquiry about excess fuel consumption, 280 gallons for 2 of the fire vehicles, which I turned over to Kevin.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in executive session.
Okay. All right.
Lake.
Okay.
Lake, we have had all 3 of our treatments for the lake weed this year. We actually got a 4th one because the guy gave us a freebie. He is very pleased by how it has worked out. This is part of a 3-year plan. And so we are looking forward to next year treating again. The goal here is to kill the roots so they will not return. We had better than we expected results this year. We're hoping for the same next year. It also depends on the weather, how much rain we get, how little rain we get. But we're very pleased with it, so that's all for the lake for now.
Yeah, that's beautiful out there.
Okay, as the safety manager, I got a call from the police department yesterday that there was a terrible odor. They thought it was gas in the police station. As it turned out, as Trustee Mosh commented, it was an overfilled 2 oil tanks, 275 gallons each. So Trustee Mosh went into immediate action, went out, got material to slow things down, dampen the smell. Because of the nature of the issue, I immediately called in a local supplier to give me a price on how much it would cost to empty the tanks and take them out of the building, since we will no longer be using oil fired at that building. The price, which is very good, is $1,500, and that's complete. So I will be asking the board for approval to move forward with that quote tomorrow. Can I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
All in favor?
All right,
Opposed?
Mr. Mayor,
John, you said there was oil tanks in the Deer Homestead?
No, the police department.
Police Department, 2628 South Avenue. Recreation.
Recreation, our summer concert series is continuing. Keep your fingers crossed for good weather this Friday. We didn't have it last Friday. We will be rescheduling. We don't have a date yet. Recreation is also working. We're beginning work now on the Halloween event and also some other events that we're trying to do through this fall into winter. We're also working with the Parks Committee on the holiday celebration, which will come in November, as well as some other things we're hoping to put together between now and then, but those will be smaller events, and we'll announce them when they're formalized.
All right. Waters, myself. So this afternoon, we had an emergency meeting with the treasurer and the water board, and there were some residents here. We have to raise the residential water $2.50 more a month. That's $2.50 more a month. And I think it's $15, John? 15?
I have a letter here from Treasurer.
15, hang on. It's $15 for a commercial more a month. Every 2 months, sorry. Yeah, when the bill cycles, so it's actually $5 a month, or $5 every 2 months.
$750 a month on commercial.
Correct, yep, that's 15 for the second month. Correct, what's that?
You approved that with the water board already?
Yes, we did.
My question is, with the apartments we've got now, just been here the last 2-3 years. I mean, you take the Beacon up there, apartments, you know, on Myers Corners Road. What you gotta raise the water rates again?
Yep.
What's the big cost?
The insurance, it's just, there's a bunch of stuff that ties up into it. We had to get a gentleman to come in with, to help us with the survey of the lead lines, because if we don't get that done by October, it's a fine of $35,000 a day. So we had to hire an outfit to come in and help us out with that, to find all the lead lines in the village.
Charge the $35,000 that
The EPA,
Huh?
the DEC.
there's no notice at all, they give you a notice?
There's been a notice, Yep. So if we,
Unfunded state mandate.
yeah. So,
What's the problem? We've seen work done local over the village, I think the sewer and water lines.
yeah, yep. So,
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the reason why it's only a $2.50 a month increase this year is to make up shortfall.
from last year,
But it's because of the $70,000 that was not put aside, that was not going to be used, but will be needed next year.
correct.
So we're just kicking the can down the road, it seems, because next year, we're going to be faced with this same issue.
So for the last 7 or 8 years, or whatever it's been, with the contracts, like down by your house on Market Street, every year the water and sewer was supposed to be raised 3% under Mayor Matt. And I've always said we should follow that. I don't actually know the criteria.
Water break out now? Those people,
There was no water break.
just maintenance to repair.
I was talking about, we're down where you guys live on Market Street, when they did that water and sewer project down there, yeah.
Preventative maintenance, that what it is?
Yep. So every year it's supposed to go up 3% to help offset the cost of the bond,
I'm having a hard time with that, what I'm talking about. Everything's going up, and
I hear you. I hear you.
working and so on and so forth, you know?
Yep.
I talked to someone a couple of days ago, what's going on?
Yeah.
Question, for the 20 houses that are outside the village, what do we get, $5, or would be $5? If inside is $2.50?
I'd have to double check. I can get back to you. I'd have to double check.
20 of us.
Yeah.
We got
Yeah, I have to double check. Do you remember, Donnie?
I don't remember what she did that.
Yeah, I'll have to I'll double check. I'll stop by your house tomorrow.
Okay,
All right?
thanks, Ken.
You got it.
That may have not,
No.
I'm not sure if she even raised that.
Yeah, I don't know.
But, I'm sorry, I think that money, the reason it's being raised is because of the shortfall
Correct.
we're finding ourselves in. And the only thing that really saved us from it going really high this year is the fact that we had $70,000 put aside that wasn't used. Next year, correct, am I right? That
55
next
is
year-
what I gave her.
Okay,
She
so
got
next
some.
year
She
is.
got-
Next year should be 3%. Like
It's
it's,
going to be needed. So, like, I don't know, I guess I feel like I'm being tapped in the face, only ready to be punched. I guess-
we all are. We all are. You know?
Yeah, well, right,
Yeah.
obviously,
Yeah.
we're all residents
Yeah.
of the village. But I'm just saying, like, is $2.50 enough? Is what I'm saying, because you can $2.50 us to death.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, if $6 is needed, then just tell us $6 is needed, you
As
know?
of right
Rather than
now,
coming
it's
back
not.
every single year, huh?
Right, as of right now, it's not needed. This is just to get us through this, and we'll look at everything.
Right, okay.
We can't control the price of gas. You know, the contracts are out there.
Well, I understand that, but I'm saying I would rather have you come back at the end of the year and say, hey, we didn't have to use X amount of dollars, than turn around and have to go into either the slush fund or whatever.
Correct.
To get our, you know, to get the money to pay the bills.
Yeah.
You know?
The water board we have now is very frugal and looks very hard before we even spend a dollar, so we're trying.
You gonna read that off?
Okay, sewer. I attended my first Tri-Muni meeting last Thursday. There's a huge deficit there to the extent of millions of dollars needed for upgrades. They are out trying to get as many grants as they can possibly get to assist with that money. To the extent it's so serious that they will not allow any more hookups until they determine from the 3 municipalities that are there what they're doing about the rainwater getting into the sewer system. You can watch the grid and you can see when there's a large rainfall, the sewer numbers go up right along with it. So there's an evaluation going on right now within the 3 municipalities to try to figure that out, along with the engineers. And once that's determined and we can get the money available to do the upgrades, we will. There is no time frame set on this at the moment. The moratorium on hookups is in effect.
And, you know,
That's that.
One thing I want to say is, when I had the meeting with you and the mayor, with Robert Travis, it was me, you, the mayor, and Rob Travis, when we had the meeting to get into, they would get the $1,000 to apply so he can, so the three of us, town of Poughkeepsie, town of Wappingers, and us get together and we get this grant. So it was very important to start the grant, so we just made it in there in time. So that's what they're fighting for these grants, so then we can offset some of this money. Because it's coming to where they're getting to be a big hole.
So it's really in there trying this one, isn't it? The Tozy Wappingers,
The 2 in the town of Wappingers, the rent.
the city of, town of Poughkeepsie, Ward 1, right?
Yeah.
The only two.
Yes, in the town of Wappingers, the rent.
Town of Wappingers, they're building all over. Where's they got?
Well, they can't in the Tri-Muni
I
area.
know, but
Yeah.
I'm saying they're still building, you know what I mean?
Correct.
So
They should build their
they're
own
coming and
sewer.
saying it's cost them, it's not costing much, it should, really.
Yeah, I think they have a couple projects that are in that Tri-Muni spot, so.
They should build their own plant.
Mrs. Rogers?
Now, you're saying no more hookups, so does that have anything to do with that Buckingham?
Yep.
So that'd be a squash?
They can still go on with it, but they won't be able to hook up to any sewer. So,
They may come back in 5 years,
Yeah.
but right now, there's
It's
no,
done. It's done.
We have residents that can't build here because of it.
so.
Okay, that concludes the reports. Mayor, did you want to open it up?
Any discussion from the public?
I'll be real fast. I was here in the end of January meeting, and I requested that the highway department, or the highway group, to paint the lines on Clinton Street. Still hasn't been done. They said probably sometime in September. Well, not September, but sometime in the spring, and it still hasn't been done. We have a tremendous problem there. Cars are driving down the middle of the street. Cars are stopped at the end of Clinton to East Main, West Main, and the cars coming off of West Main can't pull in because these cars think the whole road belongs to them. We need the lines put back like right away. And I kind of hope that you folks will get that to happen real quick.
Did Central Hudson go through there already?
I have no idea.
Central Hudson's already done on Clinton Street. They done that years ago.
I asked this a number of years ago when the
highway committee look at that?
was here, and he came right out.
I'll give a call.
and had it fixed. So we need to get it fixed.
We'll have the highway committee.
I will call the superintendent of highways and find out what the story is. If you want to give me your number, I'll get back to you.
Absolutely.
It's right on the back there.
I appreciate
I just
everything you can do.
had a question. Did you say that we haven't had a ticket written all month in the police department?
Yep. Yes, I asked, and that's
And
what
I'm
I was
gonna tell
told.
you,
I asked
I will
specifically,
get back to
any
you.
arrests,
I'm going away
any
on Monday,
ticket
so I will get
violations,
back to
traffic
you.
violations?
But I will get back to
No,
you.
Perfect.
none.
Oh, yeah, we got a court.
That's a little ridiculous, isn't it?
Anything else?
Anybody else?
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Pat? All right, Cal?
Probably all know me, my name is Cal Lawrence from the Second Ward, the Village of Wapner's Club. Lived here all my life, but I've been away for a couple of weeks now, traveling around. I got back, I received a letter. And I'm not gonna mention any names, but I want the village board, you may have a copy of this, but what action taken? Harassment is still going on. Still going, Mayor, it's your duty to make sure they all read these letters. Now, I have a lot of copies here, but keep myself, but this comes from our treasurer again, you know. And it's gotta stop. They're gonna fire this, gonna do this and that, and they can't do nothing. The village board's gotta do this. But it's these threats. And you can't work in an environment like that. I know damn well you can't. But I'll have John give you all, did you get a copy of this last letter?
Who's it from?
From village treasurer?
Yes.
Dated July 2nd?
Yes, I have.
Did the rest of you get a letter copy of it?
Personnel committee was brought up on it.
Well, what's gonna be done about it?
They're working on it.
What's gonna be done about it?
We can't talk about personnel issues. We can't talk about personnel issues in public.
To make sure it gets done.
We cannot talk about personnel issues in the public.
Personnel, I'm not mentioning any names.
We're working on it. We're working on it. We're
We're
working
gonna
on
do
it.
this before I went, an executive session.
Yes.
All right? And there's things they wrote there. It's getting out of hand again. And there's people that have no right to say these things because they have no authority. You know what I mean?
I hear you. I hear you.
And top it all, I went to the Waterkill car show out there. And a couple of people stopped me and said, "What's going on in the village?" I said, "I don't know. What do you mean?" "Well, there's a lot of problems in the village." It's not that I know of. And that's why I'm here tonight. We gotta do our jobs, that's all. You're elected to the village to do a job and do it.
I'm doing my job.
This fella right here on the highway, he took a number, he'll do it.
Yeah.
That's what's gotta be done. But this harassment, if I get really involved in it, I know people, you know, up above too, you know, it's gotta be taken care of.
Hey, Cal, listen, I was in Home Depot. so-
Bobby, I'm not talking about you.
Listen, I know, but I'm just
What you did
saying,
was-
I was in Home Depot.
This is somebody else.
And I was in Home Depot.
This is a friend of
and-
yours.
Listen, I was in Home Depot, somebody came up to me and said to me, "What's going on in the village?" It wasn't fighting, it's just that the finance and the people that come into this meetings and raise hell for no reason at all.
I'm not raising hell, I'm saying, I wanna get an answer. You all got a job to do. Let's have your personnel that can get together and
It's
do it.
being worked on.
And certain people should be sent a letter on this here to stop it, or else they can be replaced. And you have the authority to do it.
Correct.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
But let's make this village great again, all right?
We're trying.
All right, so I'm trying, you know, it's.
I try every day. I try every day.
They don't have workshops, you don't have committee meetings, you have this, and so on and so forth, you know?
It's a challenge here every day.
Like Prime Minister, like Bob was on Prime Minister, it was not always me, that's more work for everybody else to do, you know? So let's get together and get it squared away, all right?
You got it.
Thank you.
Pat?
My name's Pat Cardini. I visit you once a month, okay? I'm here to ask my favorite question. Back in April, you guys, against the advice of your attorney, unanimously passed a motion to get a draft done. Am I correct? At that time, it was my understanding that that excluded what we said 90 days, oh sure, that should be no problem, only for the part of getting the draft done. And then you made it very clear that after that, it still had to have a date posted, it had to be published, there has to be a public hearing, you know, and then eventually, somewhere down the line, we'll get a vote on it. So I checked after 3 months and nothing happened. I came last month and I was told, no, nothing's moved. I checked up until today, I'll say as of yesterday. My understanding was, from everyone I had heard, that it was still not ready, and at that time, you were still waiting for input from the attorney. Now, I understand he's away on vacation. I'm being reported for him. So I guess the question will be, can someone give me the status? of where we stand.
That would be the legislative committee. They're working on it with the attorney. The legislative committee is working on it with the attorney.
And
Trustee
since-
Ruffin?
Do you want to talk to it?
So, our attorney Ian Linders had originally, in June, proposed that not just one property be subject to enforcement from our police officers, that this law, in order to get more bang for the buck, include other properties within the village that are like size and very similar. On July 5th, I sat on an email after canvassing and looking at the other properties in the village containing 20 properties, and I sent that to all board members. Some of the board members, like John Tilichek and Walter Mosh, they responded favorably to that idea of inclusion. So that was then turned over to Ian Linders, so he is drafting it. But unfortunately, this week he is on vacation.
Maybe I'm really way out in left field, but I suspect what you're going to draft is basically going to be 99% the same, only instead of saying it, you're going to say them or something like that. And then somewhere you're going to have a list of these properties, because some property is going to be sold, they're going to be renamed, so that's not a forever stamp. So am I wrong in assuming the basic draft, with the exception of if it's 1 or 7 or 3 or 15 or the TBD, when will that be done?
That would be a question for our attorney.
I'm sorry?
When will he be done drafting it? I don't know.
When will it, no, I don't even care about it. When will it come to the point where the board can then do something, and instead of picking on him, I can start asking the mayor when he will move something along? Right now,
I'll move it along.
my understanding is...
I'm tired of hearing about it. I'd move it along right now.
Right, and you guys, to your...
And I'm sure you're tired of coming here.
To your credit, you went beyond that, and I kind of mentioned to myself, if you don't listen to your own lawyer, you shouldn't pay him. Because you don't trust him, or something. I don't know what's going on. But you guys did it, just like me. You're sick and tired of doing this for 9 years, okay? I'm just starting to get grasp back, and I'm having people starting to go on it again, all right? And at this point, I gotta say, I gotta start holding the village responsible, as well as you guys personally, and the attorney personally responsible for not doing anything, because as you said, the police aren't writing tickets on the stuff they can do, much less the stuff they can't do. So right now, nothing has changed in almost a year, right? That happened in February with the tractor trailer. Nothing happened since you guys started to work on it as far as something physically being done. So I'm asking you, is it reasonable to say you will have something completed by the next meeting to give to the board so that they can move it along or vote it down?
Pat, are you talking about inside the complex for the signs and
They want to make a general law that covers the umbrella and covers that stuff.
I will call the attorney on Monday morning, and I will have him do that law.
I'm sorry?
I will call that attorney on Monday morning and have him write up that law so we can pass this as soon as possible. I'm tired of hearing about it. I'm tired of talking about it.
And you know what the next step
Hey, Mayor, do we have to get permission from the property owner?
We already have permission from the property owner.
Okay, yeah, the
And
letter.
I'm in disagree of it, but
They did great. The mayor did this right, he did a great job. He went, he saw them, he spoke to the representative from the property, he talked to Joe, and within one day they had the owner's permission, and they're a little aggravated too, but.
You know, they spent $8,000 to blacktop to stay off your property, and we sat there for 2 hours watching them, and everything was good.
And I didn't realize that when my vehicle was damaged, when my property was damaged by that tractor trailer, nobody said we're gonna have a dry spell like this. So I can imagine what my water bill has been out there feeding that beast twice a day to get it going. And it's still coming up patchy because it was dead in spots. So I'm in the hole for over $600 so far. And the only other place to get my recourse back is in small claims court. So, you know, it's getting ridiculous.
yeah.
All right.
Enough is enough. So you said you'll do it.
I'll call Monday morning.
Can we add one thing to the conversation? Now, you brought up a good point. To get permission from each property owner was something that Attorney Lindars had discussed with us. You know, he doesn't just want the fire chief or the police commissioner or the mayor, people that can initiate the local law per their findings, okay? like, anybody can do that, but he was also talking about, you know, and I don't know if he's reached out yet to these property owners, but really a letter should come from our village attorney or possibly the mayor if we're going to request the right to enforce site plans from property owners.
I don't want to say I don't care,
So-
because I do care, but you very realistically, does anybody on this board honestly think that in your lifetime, you're going to get every commercial property
Too
to
far,
agree?
too far. So the attorney, the village attorney takes direction from the mayor, and if the mayor tells him, move forward with this law, then he moves
But
forward
fair
with the
enough,
law.
and you said-
I'll call him Monday,
Too far.
I'll call him Monday when he
Thank you,
comes
sir.
back from vacation.
They were gonna do the negative
Right.
Sure, come on.
Right, exactly. You can just notice those
I just
properties.
wanted to address the ticket issue. I wanted to find out, because this is the first time I've heard the committee that during a board meeting discuss what went on with their various committees, which I'm very grateful for. But do you know whether or not this is a pattern? I mean, like.
Changes are going to be made, I can tell you that right
No,
now.
I-
That's what's gonna happen, is that changes are going to be made.
I'm not asking that, sir. I believe that you're going to address the situation. That's not what my concern is. My concern is if this is a pattern, you know, like, how many tickets were issued last month? Were there none and no arrests? The month before, were there none and no arrests? I'm just wondering if there's a pattern here and if it's not coming from the top. And so that's my question.
A rumor is they're coming in punching it and just,
Well,
I see them
you
in.
know what? I worked for a police department for 30 years, where with all due respect, everybody says the same thing. They say the same thing about the board, they say the same thing about the water department and the highway department.
Yeah.
Nobody knows unless you're actually doing the job or sitting there answering
There
the
was
phone.
no tickets last
So,
month.
with all due respect, but my point is that if this is something that is, you know, is going from the top down, it should be addressed in that manner.
It is going to be addressed.
Right. And so that's my concern, because I don't want to see anybody get a ticket, but I find it very hard to believe that not even a parking ticket could have been written. And the other thing is too, what I'm concerned about, because of the fact that I love our police officers, is morale. I'm wondering about their morale, and I don't, you know, and that concerns me, because they put their life on the line every day for us. And I want their morale to be, I want them to know how much we appreciate them and how much they do for us. And I think that that's important. So that kind of, you know.
Police committee's working on it. All right, thanks.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
All right.
Motion to go into executive session?
Trustee Marshall would like board approval to allow me to attend the executive session.
Get a motion for the clerk to come in executive session?
Motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
The board has entered executive session. Please stand by. The meeting will resume when they return.
The gentleman who was here before lives across from the nursing home. This guy dropped his lot